In October, we spoke with voters around the country ahead of Election Day, and we wanted to check back in with some of them about their willingness to get the coronavirus vaccine. Now that the FDA is endorsing the vaccine, does that make you more willing now to take it?
No.
Why?
No. It's too rushed. It's too rushed, and there's just too many question marks still for me. Like how effective it's going to be, how long it will actually protect you. And I'm afraid that it's going to give people a false sense of security. The social distancing, I think, will stop. People will stop wearing masks. They'll just think they're protected. So I'm really concerned.
Mildred, you were reluctant before to take the vaccine. Given where we are now, have you changed your mind?
I haven't changed my mind. My biggest concern is how, money has entered the equation. When you have money, pharmaceutical companies and politics, this it's a scary scenario for me. I have concerns. It's not really fear, it's concern and cautious. I'm very cautious.
Gotcha. And Lori, you had said because of underlying health conditions for you, you were extra interested in the availability of this vaccine, and you would definitely take it.
Yes, I have so many more concerns about what would happen if I contracted the virus than what might happen from a vaccine.
And JR, you were also hesitant. You didn't necessarily trust that the government would be giving you something that is safe. Do you still feel that way?
Oh, of course, I still feel that way. I don't know what's in the drug.
What would change your mind?
I will go talk to my doctor in January. Last year, in December, I was very sick. My wife was very sick, and my oldest son was very sick. And on Christmas Day, we couldn't even have Christmas together. And so I went to the doctor like 2 days after Christmas, and they said, you don't have the flu. We tested for that. You don't have bronchitis, which you get every year. We tested for that. So since we have spoken, I went back to talk to my doctor in late October. He said, I believe you had the coronavirus. We just didn't know what it was. So let's take a test. Took the test, have antibodies for it.
Wow.
So, yeah. Would I take the vaccine? Yes, eventually. Yeah, I would take it. But not right away, no.
Beth, you were more than willing to take the vaccine, even though you weren't necessarily living in fear of this virus. You said you'd still be willing to take it.
No, I'm actually going to continue to rely on my own immune system. I firmly believe in taking control of your own health. I have been very ill. I live with disease now that I will always have. And keeping yourself healthy and free of pre-existing conditions is probably the best possible thing you can do.
Lori, you were a Biden supporter. If I remember correctly, Walter, you supported President Trump. The two of you are the only ones from this group so far who say that you trust the government and trust this process and would go ahead with the vaccine.
Who said I trusted the government? I'm from the government. I'm here to help. I run into the night screaming. Mm-hmm. No, I listen, I don't know enough about the vaccine contents. I do realize they had this understudy a long time before the pandemic struck. If you're going to trust anything, trust the fact that the pharmaceutical companies want to make money. They sure don't want to be set back. Mm-hmm. And what a disaster would happen if these things came to market and were at best not functional, at worst harmful. So in that I trust.
It's not necessarily the government that I trust in this situation, but I believe scientists and epidemiologists. I have a pre-existing condition that I was born with, and I can't do anything about it. And I have a lot of living left to do. And I really, if there's anything out there that can help me get back to my normal life, which I miss quite a lot, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I have severe asthma, and my lungs are at 59% of their capacity without medication, and I can't do anything about that except take medicine to help with that inflammation.
Statistically, it is Black and brown Americans who are getting hit the hardest by the COVID infections. There is concern that that Black America in particular won't be willing to take it.
I don't think we're not going to be willing. I think it's more like we just going to be reluctant and want to take the time to make sure that the side effects and everything is okay.
So you want to wait. Jill, for you, and I know you've already said, as a healthcare worker, you would arguably be one of the first in line, but you're skeptical of this.
I love the job that I have. If it's required for me to keep that job, to have the vaccine, it's done. I'll roll up my sleeve tomorrow, you know. Would I willingly do it? No, but if it's what, you know, it would take, then, I mean, of course I will, you know. Because there's some things that are mandatory for us and we don't have a choice as healthcare workers. You do what you have to do, but I wouldn't go stand in line and sign up for it, you know, just to volunteer for it. Absolutely not.